So, what's the difference between being a boss or a leader? Stay tuned. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, we lead, and we inspire. First, I want to give a big shout out to Manu Metasoft Inc. I don't know, I saw this on Facebook, and it was sent to me by a very close friend of mine, Peter Nace. He thought I would like it, and he was correct. He did this a long time ago, and I've kind of been saving this for a good time, and now is as good a time as any. So let's talk about the difference between being a boss versus being a leader. A boss always is the use of pronouns, okay? When I was, the last job I was working on, I had a boss, I used to frequently say to him, you know, that's kind of a misuse of pronouns, don't you think? And he would laugh at me because I went over this with him, and he agreed with me. The boss says, I need you to do this, I need that, and the leader says, we need this. This is part of our game plan. The thing is, as a leader, everything is for the benefit of the team. And the proper use of pronouns is critical. You don't want to be saying I, you want to be saying we, because what you're looking to do is to rally everybody around a thought, an idea, a concept, an objective, something that is worthwhile to achieve. And when you do that, it's not an I thing, it's a we thing. Stop and think about, as an example, what I think about all the time with this is, you know, back in when I was a young puppy, you know, big Boston Celtics fan, still am to this day, the Celtics had Bill Russell, and Philadelphia had Wilt Chamberlain. Now, Wilt Chamberlain holds a zillion records still in the NBA. I mean, when you say Wilt Chamberlain, anytime somebody breaks one of Wilt Chamberlain's records, they always say, boy, just to be mentioned in the same name with Wilt Chamberlain is unbelievable. I mean, this guy averaged 50 points a game one season. 50 points, he averaged it. Somebody scores 50 points today in one game, it's like headline news. He averaged that. I mean, this is how great he was. Yet the Boston Celtics were winning championship year after year after year after year. All right, Russell won, I think, 10 or 11 championships. A ridiculous number. You know, he had this picture of him with all those rings on his fingers and so on. You know, Chamberlain won one. Why? Chamberlain was an I type of guy. Russell was a we type of guy. Clearly, Chamberlain had more physical abilities. Russell took his abilities and put them in the team concept, allowing his team to win. Okay? That's a huge thing in terms of being a leader. It's not about you, it's about the team. Which brings me to the next point, where the leader takes, you know, the boss will take, oh, I did this, I did that, so on and so forth. And the leader says, we did this, we did that. And takes the credit and distributes it out to the team. It doesn't take very much for himself at all or herself at all. Once again, team concepts. That's what a leader is supposed to get out there. A boss micromanages. A leader delegates. If you have, one of the things you want to do is as a boss, you say, do this, do it exactly this way, so on and so forth. Now, in the beginning, when someone's new and they're not trained, okay, I understand that. But once someone's been there for a while, they know how things work. They know what's going on. So you say, this is what I want you to accomplish. This is what I want you to accomplish. Can you do that? Yes. This is what we need as a team for you to accomplish this piece of the puzzle. That's what we need. Okay. And you don't give them a specific game plan. They're capable. This works for two. First of all, it's the we concept. People feel like they're contributing more when they come up with the ideas. And secondly, somebody will work a lot harder for an idea that they came up with than an idea that's forced upon them. So, whenever you can, don't micromanage, delegate. Delegate. A boss criticizes, a leader encourages. It's so easy to nitpick and this and that and so on and so forth. The good leader says, look at all of the things that you did right. Wow. Look at all the strides you help us as a team make. Wow, fantastic. Here's what more we need from you to get this team in a winning position. It kind of reminds me back in the day when I was working with Bob Anderson, my mentor. I was living in his house at the time and running one of his offices, and we had a certain quota of production that we needed to reach, and if you didn't reach that quota, then you had to work on Saturday. And I found myself working on quite a few Saturdays, and we needed some big numbers this particular Saturday in order to reach our quota. So I went out with somebody, never went out myself. I was teaching mode, and we'd go out, and one day we went out, and I think I had, we had, on a Saturday, we had 4 or 5 sits and 4 sales. And we came back with $200 of monthly premium, which was a tremendous amount to have for one day, a really big amount. So I come in, you know, and I'm thinking like, I'm a big shot, look at what I did, you know, 200 in premium, wow, I'm the man, all right? And I sit down and I bring that to Bob Anderson. I said, how do you like that? And he says, you know what? Whatever you brought in, we expect that and much, much more. Wow. Okay. You know, and I took it, you know, because he was on my side. He was trying to help me. All right. But think of it. Whatever you do, I expected that and much, much more. Don't fall in love with your own production. The boss focuses on weaknesses. The leader focuses on strengths. Once again, when you need some help, you say, look at all of these things that you do really well. Let's focus on those. Let's expand those. Let's try and minimize the weaknesses. What the boss does is yells at you, screams at you, points fingers at you, blames you for the weaknesses instead of putting you in position to use your strengths. Focus on the strengths, not the weaknesses. That's what a good leader does. The boss blames other people. It's never their fault. There was this circumstance, there was that circumstance. And the leader takes responsibility. Why? Because one of the main commandments of leadership is to inspect to expect and expect to inspect. You have to say, this is what we expect, and I have to inspect along the way to see that we're on track. And if we're not, then we need to make some adjustments to what we're doing. But what the boss does is instead of doing that, he points, is a finger pointed, points, well, not my fault, it's them, okay? You know what? It's always the leader. It's always the leader. So make sure that you're inspecting along the way. That's what a good leader does. A boss directs. A leader coaches. Right? A boss directs, a leader coaches. Once again, going back to what we said earlier. This is what we want to have accomplished. This is what I want you to do. Specifically, boom, boom, boom. Or the leader says, this is what we want to accomplish. Figure out how to accomplish it and get the job done. If I can help you, if I can give you an idea, if I can give you a concept, please use me as a reference. I'm here to help. But you have the wherewithal to get this job done. If you want a little, you know, feedback on your idea, great, I'm here. That's what a leader does. A leader is a coach. A leader is a coach. A boss falls in love with their own voice. A leader listens. That was one of the great skills of Bob Anderson. He would sit in on a meeting, all right, and then when the meeting was over, he would have little notes and he would say, you would do this, you said that, so on and so forth. You know, one of the questions he would ask is, so what is it you want to accomplish? What are you trying to do for yourself, for your family? You know, you want a new car, you want a house, you want to buy land, you want a promotion. What is it you're looking to do? And then when somebody would start whining about something, he would say, you know, I thought you said you were real interested in getting that house. If you want to get that house, is whining about this going to get you that house? Or is picking yourself up by your bootstraps and saying, okay, how can I accomplish that? He used to call that listening to what people say and use it against them for them. Use it against them for them. Take their own words and so that they say, yeah, I kind of did say that, didn't I? Yeah, if I act the way I'm acting right now, I'm not going to get that accomplished. I better change my paradigm. I better change my viewpoint, because if I want to achieve that vision of the house, I need to get to work and work harder and smarter. So the leader listens and the boss speaks. And on a negative perspective, when I worked at the library, my God, the woman that was in charge of the library, yakety, 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 yak. It was like, here's my resume. I've done this, I've done that, and you know, this is, and it was, you know, if you don't like it, there's the door, and enough already. All right? You don't need to be speaking. You need to be listening. You need to hear what's going on in people's minds if you want to be an effective leader, if you want to share the vision and sell the dream. The boss inspires fear. The leader inspires enthusiasm. It's the mindset of the workplace. If people are doing things because they're afraid they're going to be punished for something, then they do the absolute minimum that they can do because they don't want to put themselves out there. On the other hand, if they're working for excellence, then they are inspired to do more and to be creative and say, how can I do this where I can get more and do it faster and do it more economically? That's the mindset you want in the people that you're working with. That's the mindset that's going to take the team to the top, as opposed to someone that's like in fear of losing their job. If I don't do this, I'm going to get yelled at. Or a boss works on fear. A leader works on enthusiasm, encouragement. A boss commands and a leader asks. You know, I had a boss recently, and his name was Dan, and he and I were like about as opposite as you can possibly be. I don't even know how I got hired in the place. He was the one who hired me, all right? And I don't even know how I got hired in there, but I did. And I told him, you know, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be on time, I'm going to show up. And I did, all right? I mean, when you're older, then you do that a lot more than when you're younger, it seems, all right? And he would do a lot of things that just got my goat. But I'll tell you the one thing that he always did right. When he wanted something done that was a little bit out of the ordinary, he would always ask and say, you know, can you do this for me? Can you do this for the team? Can you do this for us accomplishing it? And he would ask to do it, as opposed to say, do this, do that, do this. And he was somebody that always asked. And I always secretly admired him for that, because we were so opposite. So many things he did I didn't admire, but this one trait he had was a brilliant trait. And the most important one, the difference between being a boss and a leader, is a boss tells people to do stuff and they don't know the why and because. The leader plants the seeds to a unified vision. The key thing is share the vision. Share the vision. Have everybody on the same page. Have everybody seeing the same stuff. Have everybody wanting the same things. And make that a passion with them as a team to accomplish it. Have them root for other members on the team, as opposed to places where people root against other people on the team. Does that make sense? The key thing is, if you want your team to move forward with creativity, with undue speed, get them excited about the task at hand. Share that vision, sell that dream. Don't just say, do this, do that. And this goes for anything. I mean, even if you're working at McDonald's and you're the bun guy, you're the guy that toasts the buns, or you're the guy that puts the fries in the oil, you know, hey, we need you to perform because we're looking to have one of the best lunch hours of all time. We're looking to have the top McDonald's in this whole area, and all of that depends upon you doing your job and everybody else doing their job. So it's very important. It's making sure that everybody understands the importance of the particular piece of the puzzle that they're contributing. And how do you do that? Share the vision, sell the dream, plant the seeds to a unified vision. Don't just give orders, do this, do that. When people know the why, they will work harder. All right. Always remember, hey, don't ration the passion, fashion the passion. I'm Eli's dad.